Joining me in studio to discuss living off the grid is Grahame Cruickshanks, Market Development Executive at Green Buildings Council of South Africa, and Cobus Roux, Manager at Solar Power. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
Hi.
Cobus, I think I'll begin with you. I mean, as I said in the intro, we're now faced with load shedding once again. Many people in the first couple of years of load shedding decided, you know what, we're going to go off the grid. We're going to get, alternative solutions to still having the electricity and our hot water in our homes and the lights on in our businesses. But many other people are still struggling to find information as to, what is really out there in the market. Speak to us about what's available when we speak off-grid.
Yeah. There are quite a number of different types of solar systems, and off-grid is only one of those. And at the same time, solar is a product that you can build on. So you don't need to invest straight off in a off-grid solution, but you can rather build it slowly over time by starting off with an inverter, batteries, a number of solar panels, and add to that as your needs and as your budget allows. Subsequently, you can get to the point where you no longer need Eskom, or you can just start off with a point where you save a huge amount of electricity on a monthly basis. And that really is a good starting point where you reduce your monthly expenses. And that in turn helps to fund your future expansion of your solar system.
And let's speak prices. I mean, if I want to change my current geyser to a solar geyser, for example, how much am I looking to spend? Is it a pricey thing to then convert to?
Solar geysers could be pricey, but that is not our forte. We deal exclusively in solar PV systems, solar electricity. So solar geyser would be ideal just for hot water generation, but not to generate electricity. So in electricity generation, you can utilize that to also supply the electric element in the geyser, but a solar geyser would be a different solution.
And let's speak maintenance as well. Is it high maintenance when you then convert to solar?
No. In fact, that's possibly one of the drawbacks on our business, where maintenance is very low on solar systems. One of the critical considerations is to clean the panels, especially in winter, and clean them regularly in order to remove dust from the panels and keep the efficiency of the system.
And also, I mean, one of the pros of using solar, and in the arguments that have been given, is the fight against climate change and what that will do in the long run. Speak to us about that, and maybe you can also weigh in on that conversation.
Yeah. If I can start off, it's important that we all take care of the planet, not only for ourselves, but also for our children. And going green is definitely the first step to do that.
Yeah.
Sure, and as you alluded to, the Green Building Council's work focuses strongly on the relationship between the built environments that we occupy on a day-to-day basis and the impact that climate change is having on our planet. And it's important to mention that our mandate is to try and shift the way of building to be more sustainable, not just for the planet to save the trees and the bees, but also for people's benefit, to create environments which are more sustainable for people as well.
And speak to us more then about, some of the work that you guys do. And when we speak about green technology, what exactly are we referring to?
Sure. So Cobus's points about solar installations are spot on. And we extend the renewable energy debate beyond solar PV into the full spectrum of solar energy. And also we address other resource issues, water and waste, through the certification systems that we make available, through the training that we make available, to ensure that professionals are equipped and aware and able to design and build to a green standard. The spectrum extends into the ecology of a building site, the indoor environmental quality. So there's quite a holistic view. But quite often what we see is when there's a resource scarcity is a knee-jerk reaction. And the notion that people want to try and completely become independent of the grid comes up often. And as Cobus says, it's better to approach it in a staged approach, to take a staged approach, and to also look at resource efficiencies, energy efficiencies, before you install your alternative energy supply. So I'll give you an example. If you have a home which has got incandescent light bulbs, and which has an electric geyser, and which has other very inefficient appliances linked into the energy supply to that home. If you try and supply your energy from a solar system, you're going to need a lot of space for your solar panels to go off grid. But if you make your home as efficient as possible beforehand by installing energy efficient lighting like LED, by installing a solar water heater so that your water heating is not coming off the electricity supply, suddenly you've got the opportunity to reduce the cost of your solar PV installation.
And let's also speak about green buildings. I mean, that's something that I've been reading up on lately. Tell us a bit more about that. What does it entail? And do you find that property developers are leaning more towards green buildings, or is the price just too high?
So just to give you an indication, in 2008, the first Green Star certified building was certified to the Green Star 4-star standard. That's a green building which has met a particular standard. There are many that don't choose to target certification, but in 2008 there was one. Today there are over 500. So we've seen an exponential increase in the rate of uptake of certification. A lot of that has come from the commercial sector, with commercial property developers developing office buildings, industrial buildings, retail buildings. But what we've also seen is a rapid increase in the uptake of green in the residential sector by developers developing residential buildings, but also by independent homeowners, the types of people that might want to install a solar PV installation on a standalone home. So the awareness and the uptake have changed dramatically in the last 10 years. A lot of that has been driven by the electricity shortages that we've been experiencing, because suddenly that opens the debate up to other green issues.
Yeah. And, when we look at, our current ownership of land in South Africa, we know that government has the bulk of it. What's been their response to green technology? Have they been, welcoming of it?
You're absolutely right about government's share of property in South Africa. And we work with government on two tiers, one around policy development and the other around their own actual buildings. One of my personal favorite green buildings is the Department of Environmental Affairs building in Pretoria. It's an amazing building, built to a very high green standard, with a great solar PV installation on the roof, actually. In addition to that, we work with government on policy development. So there are energy efficiency regulations in place due to be upgraded, and we comment on the papers to be released. We work with government on policy development. The Department of Public Works, the largest property holder in the country, released their green building policy at our annual convention last year. And we work closely and as frequently as we can with government through our relationships, through our mandated role in the built environment.
Yeah. All right, well, before we wrap up this conversation, Cobus, maybe just for our viewers who are watching, who are like, I want to get more information, I want to know more, where can they go?
They can visit our website at www.solarpower.co.za, and there's some pretty basic information there, specifically on domestic installations. And if they require additional information, they can send an email to info@solarpower.co.za.
All right. And you as well, your details?
Almost the same. Our website, www.gbcsa.org.za, and our information address is info@gbcsa.org.za.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you'll have a lot of people knocking at your door as Eskom once again reintroduces us to load shedding. That was Grahame Cruickshanks from the Green Buildings Council of SA, as well as Cobus Roux from Solar Power.